When you think of the south of France, sure you've heard the names Saint-Tropez and envisioned superyachts jammed into harbors like expensive sardines, influencers posing with rosé bottles while pretending to read Anna Karenina, and celebrities desperately trying to out-tan each other on public beaches where paparazzi lurk behind every designer umbrella. You see, the regular Saint-Tropez experience involves fighting crowds for overpriced café tables, watching reality TV stars stumble out of nightclubs at dawn, and paying Monaco prices for the privilege of being photographed while you eat your breakfast. It's luxury tourism for people who measure success by how many strangers recognize their handbags. However, the truly wealthy luxury travel connoisseurs really in the know understand that true French Riviera exclusivity lies hidden behind gates so discreet they don't even have signs. In Les Parcs de Saint-Tropez, where billionaires pay up to 60 million euros for the ultimate luxury, complete invisibility. Therefore, in today's episode of Sir Luxury Travel, we infiltrate Europe's most secretive residential enclave, where Bernard Arnault plays tennis undisturbed and where the biggest scandal might be serving champagne at the wrong temperature. Most real estate empires begin with vision boards and architectural renderings, perhaps a motivational speech about transforming communities. Les Parcs de Saint-Tropez began with a dead yacht engine. In 1951, builder Robert Geoffroy found himself stranded in Saint-Tropez harbour when his vessel's motor gave up, forcing an unscheduled stop that would transform 16 hectares of worthless scrubland into Europe's most secretive billionaire sanctuary. While Brigitte Bardot was making the fishing village famous down the coast, Geoffroy gazed upon wild, thorny terrain on the Cap Saint-Pierre Peninsula and saw something nobody else could, probably because everyone else was watching Bardot. Working with entrepreneur Leon Maria, he embarked on a 30-year odyssey to convert what locals dismissed as garbage land into Parc Point A, a development so revolutionary it introduced underground utilities to 1950s France, which was apparently still deciding whether electricity was just a passing fad. The crown jewel was Chateau Borelli, an extraordinary Moorish palace built in 1895 by Egyptian enthusiast Octave Borelli, complete with towers, horseshoe arches, and oriental architecture that somehow survived German occupation, presumably because even Nazis appreciated good real estate. Today, this gated universe houses approximately 180 of the world's wealthiest individuals in what may be Europe's most invisible luxury community. Property values range from 6 million to 60 million euros, with weekly rentals reaching 200,000 euros for those lucky enough to gain entry, though at those prices, luck has very little to do with it. The domain operates under rules so strict that even tennis courts require special rackets sold only to property owners, a telling detail about the lengths Les Parcs goes to maintain absolute control over who bounces what balls where. Unlike Monaco's flashy helicopter landing super yachts or Cannes' red carpet visibility, where celebrities practically beg to be photographed, Les Parcs offers what money increasingly seeks: the ability to completely disappear while still being fabulously, almost offensively wealthy. Here you'll find no hotels disturbing the peace, no restaurants courting Instagram influencers, and no public spaces inviting strangers to accidentally wander onto your 60 million euro lawn. Just private villas, manicured gardens, and silence that costs more per minute than most people's mortgages. LVMH chairman Bernard Arnault plays tennis here undisturbed, while former Harrods owner Mohammed Al Fayed's 72 million euro villa sits behind walls so impenetrable they make Fort Knox look like a suburban picket fence. Steel magnate Lakshmi Mittal, bakery empire founder Francis Holder, and various Northern European industrialists round out a community where nine-figure net worths barely raise an eyebrow, and where the biggest scandal might be serving champagne at the wrong temperature. The French Riviera's most exclusive residential enclave remains invisible from any public road and absent from tourist guides, operating on the principle that those who need directions probably can't afford to arrive. Yet beneath this veil of extreme privilege, lies an origin story proving even paradise can begin with mechanical failure, and that sometimes the best investment opportunities come from being literally stuck somewhere. Robert Geoffroy's 1952 transformation of Parc de la Pointe de l'Aix reads like alchemy performed with bulldozers and bank loans, though considerably more successful than actual medieval alchemy, which mostly just turned gold into disappointment. The 16-hectare tract he subdivided sat adjacent to the neglected Chateau Borelli estate, which had fallen into disrepair after Octave Borelli's death in 1911, proving that even Moorish palaces need someone to pay the maintenance bills. Where others saw impenetrable Mediterranean scrubland suitable only for hardy goats and lost tourists, Geoffroy envisioned palm-lined avenues and landscaped gardens that would shield the ultra-wealthy from the terrible burden of being seen by ordinary millionaires. His partner, Leon Maria, brought financial backing and social connections crucial for attracting the right caliber of early buyers. Those who understood that true luxury meant invisibility, not just another tedious yacht in Monte Carlo harbor. The development expanded gradually by absorbing neighboring properties like a very polite, very expensive amoeba, eventually encompassing the Moorish chateau that would become the architectural soul of the estate. By the 1960s, Saint-Tropez erupted into international consciousness with all the subtlety of a champagne cork. Les Parcs quietly evolved in the opposite direction, perfecting the art of being fabulous without anyone noticing. The estate's single entrance received 24-hour guards who verified every visitor against a residence list that read like a European power index crossed with a Swiss bank account registry. Roving patrols with guard dogs monitored the perimeter, while comprehensive surveillance systems tracked all movement, because nothing says "welcome home" quite like military-grade security. The physical layout reinforced isolation through properties on expansive plots separated by mature Mediterranean vegetation, high walls, and strategic landscaping that blocked sightlines between neighbors. After all, even billionaires need boundaries with other billionaires. Many villas featured underground passages, private helipads, and direct sea access through personal jetties carved from rocky coastline, creating a sort of luxury Swiss cheese of secret routes. No detail escaped Geoffroy's obsessive planning. Electrical cables ran underground, revolutionary. Pathways revealed breathtaking vistas at calculated intervals, how thoughtful, and building regulations ensured architectural harmony, imagine that. Properties averaged 400 to 600 square meters of living space on plots of 2,000 to 6,000 square meters, with the largest estates exceeding 20,000 square meters, because when you're that wealthy, your garden needs its own zip code. The unifying principle was privacy through design, with even contemporary glass houses using landscape-level changes and strategic positioning to remain invisible from neighbors who themselves remained invisible in an endless spiral of sophisticated hide-and-seek. By the late 20th century, Les Parcs had achieved something unprecedented. A completely private universe just minutes from one of the world's most famous resort towns, where being seen was the entire point. What began as one man's enforced stopover had evolved into a fortress of privilege where billionaires could shed their public personas and simply exist, preferably on their 40-meter yachts moored at private jetties. In Les Parcs de Saint-Tropez, basic arithmetic operates by different rules than the rest of planet Earth, where numbers behave themselves and stay within reasonable bounds. Entry-level properties without sea views start at 6 to 8 million euros for 400 square meters, roughly the price of an entire luxury apartment building elsewhere in France, but here it's considered the shallow end of the pool. Waterfront estates command 20 to 30 million euros, while the most exceptional properties with private beaches and historical significance reach 40 to 60 million euros, at which point even Swiss bankers need a moment to catch their breath. Per square meter, buyers pay 20,000 to 25,000 euros, compared to 15,000 euros in central Saint-Tropez, a premium for invisibility that defies conventional market logic but makes perfect sense to people who consider publicity a form of pollution. The crown jewel remains Chateau Borelli, now divided into ultra-luxury apartments where 150 square meters costs 10.5 million euros, making it possibly the world's most expensive way to own a fraction of someone else's oriental fantasy. Recent notable transactions include Antoine Arnault's 17.5 million euro purchase in late 2022, following his father Bernard to the enclave in what must be the world's most expensive game of follow the leader. Between 2021 and 2023, only 17 properties changed hands, with an average price of 13 million euros, scarcity that reinforces value through mathematical certainty and the ironclad law of supply and demand, where supply basically laughs at demand. Peak season weekly rental rates reach 100,000 to 250,000 euros, with Villa Copac offering 600 square meters, 10 bedrooms, infinity pool and its own helipad for those who consider Rhodes a quaint relic of less privileged times. Villa Malco commands up to 46,000 euros per week, more than many Europeans earn annually, but here it's simply the cost of a proper vacation. Yet many owners never rent, viewing income as irrelevant compared to privacy, in an age where anonymity has become priceless and Instagram has made being unknown more valuable than being famous. Bernard Arnault, periodically the world's richest person, maintains a waterfront chateau here where he can escape the exhausting burden of running a luxury empire and perhaps forget just for a moment how many Hermès bags exist in the world. Mohamed Al Fayed paid 72 million euros for his estate, pocket change for someone who once owned both Harrods and the Paris Ritz. The absence of certain names proves equally telling. No Silicon Valley titans disrupting the peace, few entertainment figures seeking spotlight in a place designed to extinguish it, and minimal new money attempting to buy what can't be purchased with mere wealth alone. Even billionaire sanctuaries occasionally crack their perfect facades, revealing that money can buy almost everything except complete immunity from controversy. In April 2020, while the local hospital lacked any testing capacity whatsoever, Les Parcs established a private coronavirus testing facility in the estate director's office because nothing says pandemic solidarity quite like exclusive medical care for those with the right postal code. Additional controversies include allegedly illegal private pontoons that authorities have demanded be removed since 2013, but remain firmly anchored, much like their owners' influence over local politics. Saint-Tropez's mayor faces accusations of granting preferential building permits to Les Parcs owners, revealing how extreme wealth creates alternative governance structures where zoning laws become more like gentle suggestions. For those paying 60 million euros for privacy, comprehensive surveillance systems, roving patrols and guard dogs provide exactly what they purchased: absolute separation from the masses and their tiresome habit of existing in public spaces. The domain's private beach represents the ultimate expression of this separation, accessible only through secured pathways from select waterfront villas and spanning just 150 meters of sand that might as well be on another planet. Sun loungers and umbrellas emerge from a concealed beach hut maintained by estate staff who ensure no trace of public access mars the pristine sand, not even a footprint from someone worth less than 8 figures. This secret billionaire beach allows families to swim and sunbathe in absolute privacy, shielded from both paparazzi and the horrifying possibility of sharing oxygen with regular millionaires. 2 professional-grade tennis courts requiring those special members-only rackets sit adjacent to a communal clubhouse with bar, showers and changing rooms reserved for residents who've passed the ultimate entrance exam, extreme wealth. A wellness pavilion includes hammam, sauna, and massage rooms where staff cater to every whim of those who've paid entry into this rarefied world, including the whim to pretend the outside world has ceased to exist. Private concierges arrange yacht charters and water sports equipment, delivering gear by boat because walking to a rental shop would be unconscionably common. The Residents Association operates with Swiss precision, coordinating maintenance and facility scheduling through quarterly meetings that probably have better attendance than most parliamentary sessions. Homeowners pay annual dues covering 24-hour security, road upkeep, and beach maintenance, essentially funding their own private municipal government with none of the democratic messiness. These parallel systems reveal the ultimate truth about Les Parcs. It operates less like a gated community and more like a microscopic nation-state where wealth writes its own rules, prints its own building permits, and occasionally tests its own residents for viruses while the peasants wait in line. Les Parcs de Saint-Tropez represents the logical endpoint of luxury real estate evolution, a place where billionaires pay tens of millions primarily for what isn't there. No public access, no media attention, no unexpected encounters with people who fly commercial. The domain's continued obscurity, despite housing Bernard Arnault and peers who could buy small nations with their pocket change, proves that sufficient resources can still purchase invisibility at roughly €25,000 per square metre. Expensive, yes, but can you really put a price on avoiding small talk with strangers? Chateau Borelli stands as the estate's historical anchor, its Moorish facades and ornamental gardens having undergone painstaking restoration guided by conservation experts who presumably whispered their instructions to maintain the atmosphere. The 19th century palace now hosts classical concerts and art exhibitions, carefully controlled cultural events that bridge the domain's storied past with its secretive present, though one imagines the guest lists are shorter than the security protocols. Local municipal ordinances impose strict design guidelines through a dedicated architectural review board that treats proposed swimming pools with the gravity of international peace treaties. Building heights, roof materials, and facade treatments require approval while ecological surveys inform planting schemes, because even billionaires must occasionally bow to nature, though they probably do so from climate-controlled terraces. A 5 to 7 minute drive connects Les Parcs to bustling Saint-Tropez port, where luxury boutiques serve the merely wealthy, those unfortunate souls who must share their beaches with strangers. Property brokerage firms have flourished by catering to the domain's clientele, with agencies maintaining offices near the estate's entrance like remora fish, attending to particularly lucrative sharks. Concierge services, luxury car rentals, and private aviation operators capitalize on proximity to residents who measure convenience in millions and for whom inconvenience means waiting more than 5 minutes for anything. The estate participates selectively in promotional initiatives, hosting charity regattas that attract media coverage while maintaining its essential mystery, rather like a magic trick that reveals just enough to prove it's not an illusion. Born from a yacht engine failure and built on the ruins of Oriental fantasy, Les Parcs offers something increasingly rare in our transparent age: the chance to be impossibly rich without anyone knowing exactly how rich. Future decades will test whether this model of absolute privacy can survive in an era of satellites, social media, and radical transparency, where every breakfast gets photographed and every yacht gets tracked. Yet as long as human nature craves what it cannot have, Les Parcs will endure, charging €25,000 per square metre for the privilege of disappearing. And now, we'd love to see you in the comments. Have you been to the south of France, or would you like to? We can't wait to hear from you, and thanks for joining us for another episode of So Luxury Travel. Cheers!